Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me this morning. If it's your first time watching, love you to subscribe to my channel. It's called Creative Gems if you're watching at the moment. If you've been on my YouTube channel before, welcome back. I'm going to show you how to do this card. It was a request from one of the ladies in my Facebook group, Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. She did post up a photo of a card and she wanted to know if I could do a PDF or tutorial for it. I was thinking that just doing the PDF would not help her, even though I'm quite descriptive in my instructions and things. Everyone usually says how well they're presented, but I think she would need a video to see how to do the inside of it. It's not an easy card to do, but hopefully I've condensed it down so it's not too long for you. If you wish to join that group, you can do so. Just type in Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. There is a couple of questions there you need to answer for you to be accepted into the group, so be sure that you answer the questions. I won't go into any of the other right now. My normal video is on a Monday morning at 9 AM. This is an extra video that I'm just doing for this card. So I'll put that aside. And this card is called Cascading Card. I did case it from another video from years ago. It sits up like that. I haven't done any extra decoration. Normally I would decorate down here. I've just kept it quite simple just for my prototype card. I am going to decorate the one today a little bit more, but it's mainly to show you how to do this centerpiece here. It's a lot of scoring and cutting, so but once you've done one, it's not too bad to do. I would suggest that you do it on some maybe scrap cardstock first, or just on photocopy paper, just to get the idea of the cascading section. The outside bit is not that difficult, and it's got a belly band to go around the outside as well. So we shall get started. As usual, this is what I do normally on a Monday video. I have all my measurements typed up. These measurements will be in the description box of this video today, but if you need the full PDF, it's in the Files tab in my Craft Room Tips and Tutorials group. So the pieces you will need to start with. We've got 3 pieces of the same size, same colour. One is the wraparound, which goes around the card itself. It's that long piece there. And then the other 2 are these 2 centre sections here. And the 3 of them are the same size, 10.5 by 7 inches. And that's those 3. Then we have, I always put DSP patterned paper because a lot of the ladies in my group, it's not exclusive to Stampin' Up. So they don't know what some of them don't know what DSP is, which is designer series paper if you're a Stampin' Up demonstrator, or patterned paper. So I always put that on there. So these 2 pieces, now you need 2 coordinating designs, and just be careful if you're using directional paper. You need your direction running this way, on the length this way, and your direction running up and down this way. Otherwise it's going to look a bit odd. Your leaves are going to be sideways. They measure 9 7/8 by 6 7/8, and I've got 2 different designs that coordinate together. This paper is out of the whole suite that I'm using, Frames and Flowers 12 by 12. It's got a lot of mixture, and it's also got a lot of, I keep them all in a little case once I pop them out, otherwise they're all over the place. Just all the little extras that you get with it. They're little pop-out pieces on a sheet in the pack. Excuse me. So that's those 2. And then we've got my front panels. These are going on the front on here. 2 of those, that's design 1. I've chosen that as my design 1, and the other one is design 2. So they're 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. There's 2 of those, and then there's 4 of these inside, which are the same size, and they're going to go in there, in the back sections there. There's 4 of those, same size. a couple of little pieces of cardstock, and I'll show you what we're doing with these when we get to them. One piece measures 2 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and the other piece is 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch. I have scored them, but I'll give you the scoring for those in a minute. My belly band, it's the full length of an A4 sheet of cardstock by 1 1/4 inches wide. So that's my belly band. And then the piece that goes on the top of the belly band, 4 7/8 by 1 inch. That's the little piece in the background there. I've chosen that design. And then some scrap. I've got a few different pieces that I've popped out that I'm going to put as decoration. This is going to be on my belly band at the front. I've just stamped it with a happy birthday there, and inside is going to be this just for you. That's the same as the one in there. So you can use any greetings you like, any size frame. I would suggest not getting it too big in here, so it's end up covering most of your design that you've done. So I've got those and a few other little bits there. So that's that. And some scrap for your the mats for your greeting, which is that piece at the back there. The stamp sets I used, well, the dies are from the Everyday Details. They're around the one inside, that's those ones. And the Happy Birthday on the front is that one there, and Just For You for the inside one. They're both out of the same label with Love Set. That's all the pieces you will need. So now we shall get started with some scoring. Now I'm going to go reasonably slow with this because I don't want to muck it up. I did it, the first one I did last night, I did muck something up, so just bear with me. We'll make sure we get it right today. I've got my instructions here so we can follow along. I will show you an alternative at the end. Where's my other one there? Instead of doing the wraparound panel like this, you can put just a panel on the back. I'll show you before we get to that at the end. So this is my wraparound piece, which I'm going to do. And we're scoring on the long side at 2.5 inches. Make sure you've got your scoring blade. 2.5, 2 3/4. Sounded like something fell on the floor, but it didn't. 2 3/4, 7 3/4. You could flip this around 180 and do the same measurement again, but I'll go straight across, and it's 7 3/4 over there, and 8 inches, which is that one there. And we can fold and burnish those. Just put that aside for a sec. So these will create the little extra space for the thickness of the card to fit into. Just fold and burnish these nice and straight. I was up late last night working all this out, so hopefully everyone will be able to follow. And then the two over this side, get them nice and straight along the edges. It's really hard to burnish two lines that are close together. So that's your wraparound section, and it'll fit in like that. Those two lines come to the middle, centered in the middle, like so. We can put that one aside, we won't need that for a while. And now these pieces. First of all, and I'll just flip my page over here. We're going to score first, and then there's some measuring to do. So both of these you'll score the same at 2.5. Just make sure I'm in screen there. 2.5, 5 inches, 7.5, and 10 inches. So that leaves you a little 1/2 inch tab section on that end, like down there. I can fold that one under so you can see where it is. And we're going to do this exactly the same on the other piece. It doesn't matter which way you go. 2.5. Make sure I get it right. 5. 7.5. And 10. That leaves you the 1/2 inch down that end again. So we'll just put that away for a second. We will need it again shortly. We can fold this inwards, this little tab section, because that's going to come into what we're doing next. Don't fold these just yet because it makes it easier. So it will join together in the center like that. The two tabs are going to end up in the center. So the next piece, just get that out of the road, on the short side, and we've got to make sure these end up opposite. On the short side, the end away from that tab, so it's on this end, on the short side, which is this way, we're going to put a pencil mark up at 2 inches. I'll just turn this sideways so it's easier to see. So you're going up 2 inches and put a little pencil mark there. And we can do the same on this one, the opposite end to the tab end, and from the bottom. So they'll go together like that. So you've got to make sure you've got them at the bottom. That one's at the bottom, and this one here will be at the bottom. At 2 inches and a pencil mark. Now we're going to cut with the trimmer from that pencil mark up to the folded, right at in the crossover piece there, not to the point out here, into this section here where it's folded. I'll just get my trimmer again. So you can line this up in the trimmer here. So put the pencil mark in the track there, and this end here, where the, if you can see that, I'm trying to get it all in, where that score line, the inner score line of the tab is sitting in the track, and this up here is sitting in the track. And you're going to cut that off. Just make sure it's exactly in there, otherwise it's not going to be very tidy. So we'll cut that piece off. That piece we don't need. You can use it for scrap later. It's quite a big piece. And then the same with this one. So we've got the crossover section here, that little score line in the track, not to the point out on the edge of the cardstock. And then the 2 inch mark here, where the 2 inch pencil mark was. We'll rub those pencil marks out in a sec. It just fits in this section. You probably can't see the top. I've got that little score line there in the track and the 2 inch pencil mark here in the track. And we're going to cut that off. Another scrap piece. So we'll put that aside. Now you can concertina fold these. So we'll go, because I've got that one in a mountain fold, I'll go valley. You can change these later if they're not folded the correct way. But just make sure this is level along this bottom edge here. And then backwards on the next one. And then the other way, so long as they're concertina, which is backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, like so. And then when you put it together, it will end up, you probably can't see the lines. Now, because you folded it back and the cut line is showing, just get your bone folder and rub it over the cut lines, and it will flatten out that bit of a ridge that you get when you're looking at the back of the card. So that's that one. And the same with the other one. Fold. And fold. Just make sure that you've got nice even edge along the bottom there, so it's nice and straight. That way. Once you've done it a couple of times, it seems like it's going to go exactly how you want it. And then I'll just burnish out those score lines, the cut lines. When you cut the cardstock, the blade leaves a bit of a ridge sometimes. If it's a brand new blade, it's fine. So these two here are going to get joined at the back of the wraparound section, and they will sit like that. Now you've got these little overhang pieces at the top here when that goes inwards, so just snip them off, just so it's nice and straight. Get my little rubbish cup, and the same on the other one. Now the next bit is the most important bit, getting the panels right for the designer paper. So those two will go together like that. Got a little bit of an overhang there. It's probably just a score line. I might just trim that a fraction. It didn't happen on the last ones, but it's probably the score line. That one, that one's exactly the same. Oh, it's not too bad, that one. I might just cut that one as well. If it's overhanging, it's going to bump up against each other and leave a bit of a gap, so just trim those off. Now also we'll rub out those pencil marks down the bottom here. They may not show, but sometimes they do. So we'll give those off. So they're ready to go. See how nicely they fit together down the centre. Now, before we do anything, we're going to mark, and I'll show you from this one. You want alternate patterns. So I'm going to put one pattern on here. I'll class this as my number 1 pattern. So I'm going to put a 1 there. I don't know if you can see this. I don't want to put a heavy mark because it'll show through. You don't need to rub these out because they're going to get covered up. So I've got 1 there, that's that panel there. And then the next one will be a 1 here. So you're just going crisscross across the top. The next one is here, that's 3. There'll be 4 of each. So all of those will have number 1 pattern. Then this will be number 2 pattern. 2, 2, and 2. You don't need to rub them out later because they'll be covered with the paper. So that's the pieces we need. Now for cutting them, we can put that aside. Oh, there is one more step here. I nearly forgot it. On this second score line from the short end on both pieces, on this score line here, it should measure 4.5 inches high. So you're going to put a pencil mark at the 2.25 inch mark, which is there on both pieces. So the second score line in from the short end, from the little tiny end down here, just double check that it's 4.5 inches high, and halfway is 2.25. So you'll put a mark there. Now I'm just going to freehand cut with my scissors. One of them you're going to cut up and one down because these will slot in together. So this one here I'll cut down from the top. This one here I'm going to cut up from the bottom. I wouldn't recommend doing it on your trimmer. It might not come out perfectly. So just go straight up on the score line to the pencil line. Try not to go over the pencil line. So that one I've gone up, and this one I'm going to go down, and I'll show you how they slot together. Like so. Then one will slot inside the other, like so, and if you've cut them correctly, they should line up at the bottom, and this here will line up in the groove there. So then when you fold these inwards, like so, and we've got to make sure we get, this is where I had trouble the other day. I know what I've done. I've got the wrong, we've got to have the 2 tabs together. So this is the tricky bit. I like fold those back like that, and fold this one back like that, and then the groove is here, so they will slot together down there. And when I get it in there, just got to hold your nose right, like so. That's better. They will come together at the back. These will come together. Where am I? I might have marked them wrong. I might have to redo my markings. Yes, I'll redo my markings because you need to slot them together before you mark. So I should have done that other section first. So we shall rub out. Do your slots in the two pieces before you put your panel markings on. And we'll rub that one out. Only because you've got to see which way they fold. Now we'll put them back where they should be. So this one will be, that'll be a 1, and this will be a 1, and this will be a 2, and that'll be a 2. So you've got 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. There, that way. So do your slots up first on each, slot them back together, and then do your markings, which should make sense. I'll just burnish that a little bit there. So now we shall cut the DSP. And it's a little bit tricky, but you'll see it makes sense when you're finished. Now you've got to pick which side you want, and you've got to make sure you cut the right way here. I'll just get my, done all that one. I've got pictures in my PDF, so you can follow along for that. The DSP. Drop something on the floor. On the short side, on these, now we'll just do one at a time. I'll do this one first. This is my number 1. On the short side, you're going to mark up on the side at 1 7/8 inches, which is there. It's just before the 2 inch. Put a pencil mark there. And then I'm going to cut from there, that there, to this opposite corner here. It doesn't matter which side that's going to end up correct. That'll be on that side. So I'm going to cut up this way. So this will be my shorter piece here. So we'll cut that first on your trimmer. This is where you've got to be careful that you've got your paper around the correct way. So it's going from there up to this point. My pencil mark's there. I'm going to start my cut at my pencil mark. I don't start on a point with paper, thinner paper, because it'll drag that paper and you'll end up with a scrunched up piece on the end, which is not nice. So start down at this end where it's a straight edge, and we'll cut that up like so. Now that piece there will be scrap. You can, it's a big enough piece to cut up for other things. Now I'll rub that pencil mark out. We'll do these one at a time because the first one I did them both together and one was wrong. It was cut the wrong way. So this piece here, now it's a little bit tricky, but not too bad if you follow along. This is going to be cut at 2 and 3. I'm going to put the long edge at the top. I'm going to flip it over so I can get it doesn't matter which way you cut it. The 2 3/8, the long straight edge at the top, and I'm going to cut at 2 3/8, which is just before the 2 1/2, and that's my first piece. And just double check it. It's going to sit on there. So long as you get this top edge here nice and even, because some of this under here is going to get covered anyway, and it fits just inside that there. So that one's correct. Now we'll flip it back over because I want to keep my straight edge at the top. I'm just going to cut off 1/8 of an inch. Now this is no rhyme or reason why you do this, but 1/8 of an inch is that tiny little mark just past the track. is 1/8. It's not very much, it's just a pretty much of a slither. So it's that much there I've cut off. Then flip it back over and go to 2 3/8 again. So all of these are 2 3/8 in width. And that one will come over onto the other side. I'm just double checking as I go. Number 1 will go over here, like so. Flip it back over. Take off your little 1/8 of an inch, like so. Flip it back over, 2 3/8. 1, 2, 3. And that will be the next one up the top. Over the other side, slots in there. And then the last one, just move it across to 2 3/8. 2 3/8, and take off this outside, the longer edge on the outside. So you didn't need to flip the last one, just take off that 1/8 of an inch, and that should be, well, if you put it on 2 3/8 there, that will take off that 1/8 of an inch for you. And that one will be the last one at the top there. So we've got all those correct. We'll put all those in a minute. Now your other piece, similar, but you've got to make sure the pattern you want showing, this is where I made a mistake on my prototype. You've got to make sure that the end, the side you want showing is the shorter, where you're going to put the 1 7/8 inch pencil mark. So I'm going to put it on this side, because if I go that side, the shorter edge here is going to be in the center, and it's got the long edge. So I need to start over here with the 1 7/8. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense for you. 1 7/8. And because you're flipping the paper each time, so I'm going to cut from that pencil line up that way, and that way my angle is coming this way, which is what I want on the other pieces. So we'll get the trimmer again. It sounds easy when you've done it, made a couple of mistakes the first time. It doesn't seem so daunting. I sat there last night thinking, what have I done wrong? I've cut something wrong, and I realised I'd cut them both the same way, same angle, and which they were, I could have used the other side of the pattern. If you've got a decent pattern on this side, you could do that, but I didn't want the pattern that was on the other side of the paper that I did. So I redid it and fixed it. So this one here, I will get the trimmer back. We'll rub out that pencil mark. Keep losing my rubber. Rub out that. Now it doesn't matter which way you cut. This is going to be on this first one here, and it needs to be, I'll flip it, I want it that way. I want the straight edge at the top, and the first one is at 2 3/8. These are exactly the same measurements as the last one. 2 3/8, which is there. And that one will fit in on this side perfectly. You probably can't see that up there, tucked underneath my panel. I'll show you in a minute. Flip it over, take off the 1/8, doing exactly the same as the first piece, but just double check that you've got it on the correct angle. 2 3/8 for the second one. We'll put all those in there in a minute. Take off your 1/8. I do like this paper. It's I love all the little extra bits that you get, pop out bits that you can decorate with. That was 2 3/8, that one. And then just move this across to 2 3/8, and you should have a little 1/8 inch bit left, and you can trim that off. And that is all the DSP cutting. The rest is fairly easy to do. So that's my one. Just make sure I get these the right way. That's a 1, that's over that side. This is a 1 and a 2 and a 2 slotted in there, and that's a 2. There's another one missing in there. Oh, that's this one and that one. So just pop them all in where they're going to go to make sure you're happy with how it's going to look. So that's my layout once I get them all stuck down. And because you've got the numbers on here, it's not going to, I would suggest leaving them locked together, because I did it last night and I unlocked them and put them all on because you've got the numbers on them anyway, but then I couldn't work out which way to lock them back up again. It may be easy, maybe I could fiddle around with it, but I'm going to leave them on here or leave them locked, and hopefully I might be able to get them. Maybe I shall take them apart, and you'll just have to persevere with me if I take a little while to lock them up again. Go that way. And you can see the numbers. I've got photos on my PDF to show where they go, where each pieces go. These are the number 2s, which is my little dotty flowered pattern, which is that one and this one. They will go on that side. We'll do 2 together here. No, we won't. We'll do 1 at a time. So make sure you remember which is your 1 and your 2 pattern. And I'm just going to use liquid glue to secure them down. When I had trouble locking them together again, I thought I'd put the pieces in the wrong place, but I thought I couldn't have because I've numbered them. So they must be right. So I just had to keep fiddling until I got it back where it should have been. That cut there is just showing the score line. So make sure you put the correct pieces on the correct numbers when whichever pattern you've chosen. Don't worry too much about the bottom section, so long as you get these fairly even at the top. And flip it over. Now this is number 1, which is this panel, this other pattern, and number 1 is there. So you'll see, and I've got a little pencil mark there that I can rub out. I'll put those down. I will put this video into my, I'm recording it, so once it's uploaded onto YouTube, I shall post it into my group so you can see it straight away if you're a member of my group. I know a lot of you ladies are. I've got over 14,000 members in my group. Lovely lot of ladies, lots of ideas in there. I do a live video every Saturday morning. It's called Craft Along With Me, and on a Wednesday I post the measurements. The ladies don't know what we're doing. They just get the measurements, they cut all their pieces, and then I've designed a card to do those pieces. And then on a Saturday morning at 10 AM, that's Australian time. This is number 2 and number 2 down there. Yes, we craft along together. So I just have all the pieces cut, and they cut theirs prior from the Wednesday measurements that I've posted, and we create together. I go reasonably slow. There's usually a lot of ladies on watching from all over the world. I had Canada and the US and New Zealand, a lot of Australians. It's a worldwide group, so you're welcome to join. The 2 questions there that you need to answer. One is why you wish to join the group, whether it be I want the tutorials or I'm a crafter and I love crafting and I want to see what's in there. Whatever reason you have to join the group. And then the other question is that you agree to the rules. I've only ever had to take a couple of ladies out that didn't abide by the rules. One lady was not very courteous, and one of the rules is be kind and courteous. So this is my number 1 pattern. So I took her out of the group, but there's not too many. Most of them are pretty good, and it's to share your projects. Everyone likes to see what everyone else is doing. Not everybody is Stampin' Up, so we get a variety of ideas. If you've got something you want to put up and you've got a PDF, you're welcome to put the PDF into the Files tab in my group. Try and put a bit of a description on your card if you do post it up, so that people know what fold it is or how you made it, whatever. So that's that one there. Now this is the fun bit, trying to put lock these back together. I know those two have got to go like that, and these have to go like, this is where I got confused. That's got to lock in there first. Yes, that will go that way, I think. No. This is where I got confused. Maybe it's around this way. We'll just keep playing till we get it right. No, that can't be right because the things are on the outside. This is why I wanted to put it together, leave it locked. We'll go like this. I think that one has to come. I know I had it right last night. That one will have to come in here. I know you're all laughing and thinking, yes, it goes like that, Laura. That's not right. I can't remember how I did it last night. The folds were the correct way before. Isn't this annoying? Oh, look at that. I got it right. There we go. You just have to hold your nose right. There we go. It's back together. That's the only difficult bit, but just keep playing with it. That looks lovely. I love that. So, what are we up to? That's all done. So now you will need this panel, I think. Yes, this panel. So what we're going to do, we're going to adhere this. Now, I did cut an extra panel, and I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. If you don't want this big wide section, and I'm not sure if that's going to work like that anyway, maybe you could just put this onto a back panel like that. You probably don't need this 1/2 inch thing here. You could just do a straight cardstock piece and then attach these 2 tabs to the back of that. That would give you a backing to hold it up, and you can just put that on there. So if you don't want to do the wraparound, don't worry. This measured, and I wrote it down, 5 by 7.5, but you would do 5 by 7. Don't worry about this tab. You don't really need that. That was if you wanted to do a double backing, you could put another 5 by 7 piece, join it to this tab, and then put it inside those two. But then you're defeating the purpose of displaying your card. So just do a 5 by 7 piece and attach this whole panel piece to that. If you want to do it that way, you can still put you'll have those attached down there, and you can still put your pattern paper in underneath there. But that's just another idea. I'm going to put them in here. Now, this one, it did say to do them one at a time, which I did last night, but then I preferred, I think, to do them both together. What we're going to do, this folded edge here is going to line up with this score line, the inner score line of both sides. So they're parallel with those two. you're going to put liquid glue down those tabs in the center there, and they will come in here, and you will stick that down. Make sure it's even at the bottom and at the top. You could do one at a time. I think I prefer, I did it the other way last night, but I think I'm going to do it this way. Do the two together, and hopefully, liquid glue, you've got a little bit of wiggle room, so you should be fine. But just put your liquid glue down those two tabs in the center. Just a matter of holding them together. We'll pull this in here, bring it in at the bottom, line it up down those score lines on that side. I think this is much easier. And on that side, make sure it's nice and straight. Where you've got a little bit of wiggle room, straighten that up. I prefer the two together. If you put one at a time, then you've got to lift this and lock it in, and I found it twisted it, and it pulled up because the glue hadn't set, it pulled it all up, and it was very frustrating. So I would glue the two in together. Just give it a good press down. Have them locked together before you glue them down. Much, much easier. Now all we have to do is decorate. So that closes nicely there. Stands up nicely here. Now you can leave this floating if you wish, like that. I've created a couple of a lock mechanism. This is these two little pieces that I showed you before. So we've got one piece that measured 2 by 3/4 of an inch. You're just going to fold it in half, put glue on the outer sides. This will allow it to still float without just locking the card down and not being able to float it. So all you're going to do is open this up, run your score line down so long as it's underneath those smaller bottom sections. Run it down that score line, close that up and that up so they meet in the middle, and stick that down. This is not necessary if you want to leave those bottom bits just floating by themselves, but I preferred this way so it was closed up, and that sits like that, and it's got a hinge there that will allow you to still move it backwards and forwards. So that's that piece. Then the other little piece, this one here, it's 3 inches long. I've scored it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inches and 2.5, I think it was. Just go to my next page. So it's 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and flip it around, do 1/2 inch and 1 inch if you like. It's just creates a well, I just double check and make sure I've got it right. Yes, 1/2, 1, 2 and 2.5. So all you're going to do is fold these two inner score lines inwards and the two outer ones backwards. So it creates a little mechanism like that. Then you're going to put liquid glue on that, those two back little pieces. Center it in the middle here. So the two where it's joined at the back, make sure that that's in the center. Pretty close. You won't see this anyway. You could do it in white, but I chose to do it in the same color as the base color. It looks a lot better. I don't think yeah, that one's flat. I thought I might have put it up on dimensional. So then this, all you're going to do is put a little bit of glue on the top of that, like so, and center this on the top. That way it's free-flowing as well, and it doesn't impede on your card opening and closing and floating. Just like that. Just a little hinge to set that off. That piece is done. And then we've got all our decoration pieces. So I've got 4 of these. These are going on these inner panels. The hard part's done. We got it right without too much Well, no mistakes actually, which was good. So these are you can flip those over like so. These go down on this inner one underneath your cascading piece, and the other one on the outside of that. I'll have to get another pack of this paper. You don't get a lot of the full 12 by 12 sheets plain, so I've used up a lot of them, and I've still got lots of extra bits, the little pop-out pieces, which are good. They're handy for any card. You could use them on anything. And there's also some frame pieces that you could use for card fronts. It's a lovely pack of paper. So that one on there, and then we shall do these two on the other side. It'll take me a little while to upload this video, so you'll see it when it comes. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you give it a go. I'll put a post up in my group letting the ladies know it will be up there for viewing this afternoon. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning here that I'm recording. Oh, what have I done? Oh, that's talking. I've glued the wrong side. I shall just get another piece, I think. I don't know if I can get it out of that scrap, I think. No, I can't. It's not big enough. I'll just get another piece because that's got glue all over it. Here's me saying we haven't made a mistake. And what does Laura do? Make a mistake. I shall just get another piece out of here. Lucky I've still got plenty of this one. I shall keep that and use it the other side of it later. Silly me. When I start chapping away and burbling, it was, where's the measurements? Here. 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. So we'll go 2 1/4. As soon as you say I haven't made a mistake, what do? Make a mistake. 6 3/4, that's okay. There's no mistakes in crafting, just fix-ups. So we shall put some glue on this side, and then we'll be right. Usually I'm crafting here by myself, so I don't, I'm not chatting away like I usually do. I host workshops and classes here at my home every month. Then the other two will come in on the outside here. Make sure I put these the right way up. I've lived in Brisbane all my life. I love the weather here. Don't like the cold weather, so I wouldn't move any further south than what I am. I've got some decorations I'm going to put on this as well, on the inside, just to take off a bit of that plainness. So I've got the leaves the right way. That's my front. I'll show you how to do the belly band. I do like this. Now I've got, that's my belly band. I've got a couple of extra bits here. I'm going to put on this orangey bit. I was going to put one up here and one down here. And one, I should have two of those. Did I get two out? There it is. Two of those. I don't think that's too busy. Just takes off all that orange. I'm not an orange person normally. I like pinks and blues. Got a little bit of glue stuck on that. So I'll put these in opposite corners. These are some of the pieces that come in the set. I shall snip that little piece off that end. otherwise it's going to be poking over the fold. And the other one up the top. It's up to you how you decorate. The card that the lady put up in my group, it was not Stampin' Up! Products. It was lots of pearls and all sorts of things on it. It wasn't my cup of tea. That one fitted nicely. It's inside the fold there. And these I'm just going to put different directions. These are all flat inside. I think there's plenty of bulk in there already without bulking it up, putting them on dimensionals. They just fitted nicely in there. And one up the top. My hubby plays golf today, so he's gone for the rest of the day until this afternoon. So that's my inside. I do love that. Love, love, love it. Then the belly band, that's all we've got to do. Now what you do here, it's the full length that there's, oh, that was going on, I'll put that on while I'm here. I was just going to put this on the little greeting here, just up in this corner, just for a little bit extra, because I can. Pop that on there. There's quite a few of those little orangey flowers in the set. So this here, all you're going to do is lie it flat on there, like so. And you don't want it too tight, but then you don't want it too loose either. So sort of centre it, wrap this over, and wrap this over. I always put my join at the front because it's going to get covered with the DSP and your decoration in the centre. Then I'm going to take a couple of bits of tear and tape, put one up and one down. So one on that side, which will come in under there, and this one on the top of this side, which will close it there. And take the backing off that. I usually burnish that, which I didn't. And then pull this back across, but just keeping the pressure just firm enough, but not too tight that it's not, you're not going to be able to slide it. So we shall, I know the first one I did on the other card, it was a little bit too loose. We'll make this one a little bit tighter. You've got plenty of room to slide, like so. It will loosen up. The fibres on the card end up loosening up a little bit. And then we've got this piece going on here, which tones in with the inside pieces. Didn't have to do much decoration cutting on this because I just used all the pieces out of the set, out of the pack. So that's that one. And then I've got this. This one is another one of the pieces out of the set. I also cut, I think it was a 2-inch circle punch. I'm going to put that at the back. It just gives it a little bit more body on the back of the, because that's only paper, that other greeting one. So just so it's a little bit more body to it, I'm just going to put that in the middle at the back. And I'm going to put this up on dimensionals when I get them out. We'll just put, actually, I've got to watch because they should go on. I'll take that one off. We shall put them on here, because if you put them on here and they're up outside, they'll end up sticking onto your card. So put a few across on your belly band. And then make sure your greeting is up the right way. When you do a circle greeting, it doesn't matter, so long as it's in the centre of the circle, it doesn't matter where you stamp it because it's round, so it's not going to be crooked. If you do a rectangle, you've got to make sure it's straight. So I always prefer to do things on a circle if I've got a choice. So that one's going to sit there, like so. I didn't get out any embellishments, but I'll put some on later on. I think our video's gone long enough. So that is my card. I hope you enjoyed that. I love it. Stands up beautifully. I could probably put a couple of embellishments. I might just put a little one in there, a flat one inside. But that's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I didn't confuse you too much. It should have been fairly straightforward. And I shall catch you all again on my regular time slot on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining in, and I hope the ladies in my group enjoy the video and give it a go. Thanks for now. Bye for now.